Hey guys, welcome to week 186 of the Super Mario World RomHack Races. Today's level is a collab between Kerr and binavik. It's called Shooter McGavin, and it's rated 5 out of 10 for difficulty. binavik is known for making unique and interesting ASM, and there are quite a few variations on a new sprite that was created for this level. Kerr has made quite a few RomHack Race levels before, along with 3 full hacks, Moon, Death of a Plumber, and Shallow and Pedantic. Let's go ahead and get started. It's all in the hips. Have a good race. I have a feeling this level's really gonna eat me for breakfast. We've got a very Kaizo 1 start here with not just 5, but 6 bullet bill launchers pointed at me. And we're basically gonna see this throughout the entire level. This launcher that's kind of linked to my position. It's constantly in front of me, just trying to shoot bullets at me right now. Those bullets aren't too hard to avoid as I'm bouncing off the rest of these. It's a really nice touch that there's the bar that's counting down above that launcher. If I didn't have that, it would be much harder to time these jumps. Just have to get a big bounce off the bullet as it's high up. And then I'm standing here avoiding bullets as I'm waiting for that red Koopa to wake back up. I just threw that shell forward with too much speed to catch it. You certainly can hold a shell as you climb, you just have to already be climbing onto the net before you grab the shell. And now that I've slowed down first, I've got the shell in my hand, I just have to avoid the bullets from the launcher as I make my way over to the right. 2 buckets are free. And then we've got a pretty cool little Yoshi feeding section here. I just need to continue to jump over baseballs as the launcher fires bullets straight into Baby Yoshi's face. When Baby Yoshi is stuck inside a wall like that, he kind of wiggles back and forth, but he's going to stay right where he is. As soon as he grows up, adult Yoshi bounces, which makes him climb inside of a wall. You know, I bet if you had really good timing, you could use the bullets from that launcher that's in front of you instead of riding the stack that's behind you. At least part of the way. I like that after I had done this a couple of times, I basically just was able to keep moving to the right all the time on the net. And right now I'm just doing a really bad job of keeping the bullets that are coming out of that launcher in sync with the baseballs. It fires way more shots than it needs to. And it's very important to let it fire first instead of directly into your face as you board Yoshi. All that feeding just sees Yoshi exactly once. Here in the next room, the launcher is now below me. Instead of shooting bullets, it now fires a lava Lotus straight up. This lets me spin jump off of it to get a little bit more height on some of these jumps. The timer for the cannon is just always counting down, so you have to make sure that you're in the right place horizontally for where you want a lava Lotus placed. If you stick around in one area for too long, it'll just keep firing, and it's really easy to start getting overwhelmed by Lotuses. If you try to fall straight down, it's going to end up placing more Lotuses underneath you as you're spinning, which sort of gets you stuck in one spot, because they're coming fast enough to not let you go further down. So this area was basically a big juggling act of making sure that Lotuses were where I needed them to be, and getting extra ones out of the way. I should not have held the run button to get into that pipe. So there's another really nice touch. At the start of each room, there's a number indicating which room you're inside of. I don't know that that really helps that much for actually playing the level, but I think it makes for a better viewing experience because during the rebroadcast of the race, they jump around a lot between different players. If you're not actually playing it, it can be a little difficult to realize exactly where the player is. This is probably my favorite room with the Goombas. They're getting blasted out of that cannon fast enough where if you hold down the spin jump button, it almost prevents you entirely from losing height. Really, I'd say the only tricky part is just making sure that you keep the cannon underneath you so that it's still blasting Goombas up into you. So I'm going through here much slower than I have to, but I'm just playing it safe. We start to see the sprite killer down at the bottom here. That's going to make me drop basically instantly once it destroys that cannon. Now this time again, the cannon is shooting on a timer, and it's shooting out parabeetles. This is a pretty interesting room because the parabeetles give me a lot of room for horizontal movement. It's just that when I use them, I have to be traveling up because the cannon is just a little bit higher than I am. So it's kind of a back and forth between using the parabeetles to go up and to the right, and then using the ball and chains to go down on the screen. Now, technically I could drop the parabeetles a little bit by jumping on their heads repeatedly, but as I'm doing that, they're carrying me further to the left, which really doesn't help me with my goal of moving further over to the right. This is a pretty short room. I think there's only 5 sets of ball and chains. But there was kind of a rhythm that I had to learn as I was going through there. It took a while to get used to. Coming into room 5, I have a new cannon in front of me, and I was waiting to see what it was that it fired out to start with. But it actually operates under a different mechanism than what we've seen before. Previously, everything was just time-based, and it would show in the meter the timer that was counting down, and it would fire just whenever that timer expired. The way that I think I understand this one works, there's a timer that's constantly counting down, but it can only fire while Mario is on a vine. It's something like that. I know it's definitely only shooting when I'm on vines, and it usually shoots right when I grab onto the vine. This was a pretty early attempt at this room, and I don't think I really understood the mechanic of how this cannon worked at this point. It kind of just felt random when it decided it wanted to shoot. I have seen this yellow pipe though, and I'm trying to time a jump off of this cannon, but since I can't tell when it's going to shoot, it's really difficult for me. A lot of the stuff that's beneath me is really generously placed so that I can recover if I fall. It let me make this a really, really long attempt. And I finally get sloppy here and I forget to spin jump. I still don't know that I fully understand what was happening here, but I did realize that as soon as I grabbed on the vine, the cannon was firing, and I just did the first cycle on all of those Paragoombas. Immediately when we come into room 6, we're given a cape. This is sort of the middle of a streak of RomHack Race levels where we've had cape in just about all of them, so I'm a little more used to using cape than I might have been. The cannon in this room has gone back to just being a regular timed cannon, and it's shooting out thwomps. The thwomps are pretty easy to avoid with cape, since I can just slow down and let them drop in front of me and fly over them. I was having a hard time getting enough height just with cape pumps to get over that next wall, and that's when I learned about these note blocks. They actually give me flight back once I bounce off of them. I wouldn't normally expect to have flight after bouncing off of a note block, but it makes this section a whole lot easier. If it didn't give me flight back, I'd just have to do cape pumps to get enough height back, and that was really, really hard for me. And then we can just dive into this area with the pipes. Alright, so here in room 7, we have another cannon that's not firing right away. This one, every time I collect a coin, it shoots a bullet bill. It was really difficult for me to figure out what needed to happen here. So what I was doing was taking a full bounce off of the spring, which made it so I missed coins until I was already traveling downwards. Since I was having a hard time getting the bullet bills where I could actually land on them moving forward, I spawned some in and used them to check over to the left, just to see if anything was there. And once I did start doing jumps with a proper height, it was pretty cool to just ride the bullets all the way down. So this room has a cannon that's in front of me and a little bit below. I'm actually not sure if it's collecting coins or hitting blocks that makes it shoot, because every block that I hit just has a coin in it. It fires out a winged platform though, and I have a little bit of time after I collect a coin to move around to place that winged platform where I want it to be. I'm pretty sure I have to stand here and wait for this winged platform to come back to me. My muscle memory of doing a re-grab for blue Koopas got in my way here. It almost looks like you can make the jump off of that thwomp, but I don't think it's possible. I'm really not even sure why this blue Koopa is here. He's really just in my way. So I try to spin through him, but I'm holding the jump button so I keep a little bit too much height. It's really easy to go up too high with spin fly and hit your head on those munchers, but I think it's the only way to get through there without getting hurt. I'm really not sure what the intention is for actually getting in that pipe. I was hoping I'd be able to get a little bit more height off of another spin fly, but I think I took too long and it just kind of pushed me into the wall. You sort of have to strike a balance when you're playing Kaizo between doing what the level intends you to do and figuring out what works best for yourself. In this case, since I have the cape, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to fly. It's way easier for me to just take damage and wait for the flying platform though. Now we're going to start to see something really cool with the cannon. It's firing out not just a single sprite, but a diagonal fireball with a charge and chuck on top of it. And this cannon is firing just instantly whenever I collect a coin. The chuck makes for a really cool sort of challenge, because whenever you jump off of a chuck who is standing up, he kind of forces you over to the side. So I need to be mindful about where it is that I land on the chuck and how long I stay in the air after I've bounced on him, since if he's still hurt, I can do just a normal bounce. I get fired out of this cannon right here, and I don't trust the goalpost, and I'm right not to. I realize that I've already lost at this point, and I'm sort of hoping that I can have the key sitting on the other side of the goalpost and it'll stop me from walking, but once I actually collect the goal, it despawns the key, and I walk off the cliff to my death. Now I was really hoping that that pipe at the end of this section was going to be a midway, but I do have to redo this whole part. It really wasn't bad. This was like the first attempt after I got it the first time. It was just some really consistent setups. So I knew there was a key falling down, and I ride that platform under the goal tape, and I'm looking for a keyhole, and I kind of get lucky just to catch it immediately out of that cannon. So this was a pretty long level with 9 sections in total. It was really just 1 or 2 sections that had me stumped, but I had a lot of fun learning how to do all the different areas with the different cannons that are in there. My time this week was 1 hour and 27 minutes, 40 seconds. That put me in 10th place out of the 14 racers who finished. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'm going to keep putting out these videos showing my part of every week's RomHack Race. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more here on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitch and TikTok. My links are down in the description.
It's over!